BioVital Acqua, la vitalità di sorgente.
Here we are, welcome back in another episode of the Point of View. We are in the summer, really hot, so for this reason we call a friend that for sure have hot news from his place. I don't know where he's in now actually, but we know that he comes from Russia, and his name is Philipp Druzhinin. Hi Phil, how are you?
Hey Adrian, pretty good. I'm currently in Russia, so no time for guessing today.
And how is in Russia the weather?
A lot of sirens in the sky in the night, something little bit shocking for maybe Europeans, but we have missile defense and all these sounds mostly every week, twice, 3 times a week, so it's like a regular raining thunderstorm sound, so something like this. So, but basically we have a hot weather like around 30 Celsius currently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in my place there is like 36, 37 degrees, so it's a bit hot, but yes, here
Yeah.
we are.
Oh, if you stand on near some building on the sun, you probably get like 45. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
sure.
hot. I'm talking about temperature in the shadows.
Yeah. Okay. For who don't know who is the guy with us tonight, I remember the website, the YouTube channel, Philipp Druzhinin, where you can find a lot of videos and also something that we did together in the past. So I advise to you to subscribe and follow Philipp Druzhinin on his YouTube channel. So, Phil, here in Italy, someone talking about what can happen in the new for the next month. No, always there is someone that's talking about what can happen in the future, but someone also talking about a new problem with disease like COVID or something similar. No, epidemic, pandemic. Shit happen again in the future, someone says. What do you think about that?
Well, no one actually knows what they're gonna come up next, but we can sure see that currently the Hunger Games starting to proceed because the Ormuz channel and the Persian expert is mainly um, the fertilizers. So it's like for production of agriculture. So it's basically food production, meat production. All this stuff depends on that because you have to feed the cattle and so on. So basically, it's like anchor for the economics in food production. So if you don't have that, if you have like a sanctioned Belarusian export of fertilizer, you have a sanctioned Russian export of fertilizer. So you basically shrinking the market and given no chance for small businesses, farmers worldwide, not in some certain countries, but worldwide, not the big corporations, of course. Big corporations feel good in this situation, but the small companies, small farms and production will suffer because it's going to have to pay bigger prices on fuel, first of all, because if this war is going to continue, I mean, the Iran case, if it's going to continue, we're going to have another rise of oil prices. We're going to have fertilizer prices rise. So it's like basically everything is connected with this. So if this is going to be the future 3 to 4 months, it's going to hit bad for the economy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that here in Italy is really the same, because I also am I am a farmer, so I really care about the weather, no, and I noticed that the weather here is really engineered, is really modifying from someone with the chemtrails, other stuff. Someone says also that the sun is not always the same, it's not is something change. And yeah, like a farmer, I'm a bit afraid about what can happen, but also the war, no, the war in Iran, the war also in Ukraine. We have some ideas of what happened there, just because TV or mainstream says something. But what can you say about these two cases, the Iran, and the Ukraine in this moment?
So basically, you have to watch for the profit in both cases. Um, you know that prior to the Israel state creation, this land, the Palestine land, was belonging to British Empire, right? Everybody knows that. So basically, if that's the case, if you have this involvement of some, certain forces from, I don't know, Masonic British bankster clan, I don't know, whatever you call it. So it's basically people who control the money, who control the narrative in the main media, who probably controls the Democratic Party of the United States too, who controls all this liberal system. And these people also maybe want to be players in this case, right? So you have a so-called Zionist, side, which is like basically all the Israel government, and you have a lot of sponsors of this in the United States and many other countries, right? And you also have this liberal clan who also wants to get involved and maybe grab something here. Basically, what they want to do, they want to set up, this situation. So I think basically Trump and all this Project Trump was created by them. Flip turn in the Trump narrative each time he got elected and gaining all the profit from that election, from that presidency, and setting up Trump for the next term. So basically, creating him the future prospects, and then pressuring him with criminal and civil courts cases, and so making him a puppet for the second term. And now he is basically, as they say, the best president for first Jewish president, as they say, of United States, and many channels talking about it. I don't know if you heard this narrative or not, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
he has all the relation to the start of the war, and basically this war was already set up a year before that when they screwed up, and everybody knew you don't have to you don't have to do it again if you don't have certain assurance that it's gonna work out. But it didn't work out, as we can see, and so basically it was useless and a setup for them again, probably by London and all these clans. And so um, right now I don't know how they're gonna get out of this situation. So the the long term plan for this was probably to create Republicans, humiliate them, break them apart into pieces. First is pro-Jewish, second is criticizing this policy, helping Israel, and and so we see that already. And this pro-MAGA, pro-American, American first agenda breaks away from this pro-Zionist agenda. So, and a lot of people setting up all these dialogues in media. So basically, I don't think they have any chance for the future in this configuration. So the only way for them to protect their decisions and their vote is to fight. That's all that's left, because they're probably pushed away from politics for several decades now after this, because they are split and have the minority in population, in national, I would say, setup of the voters itself. Who are these voters? They're minority right now, and so this minority doesn't have any right to work out any political, even impression of democracy. So they're just pushed away from policy for next decades, and Trump is the last case that they would, probably give him a chance to hang on a little bit more. But probably this is the failure and the setup of British and these pro-liberal elites. And so basically, I don't know, they use Trump again because getting engaged in the war you cannot finish is the eternal war of this, merry-go-round, price hiking, price lowering,
Yeah.
until something happens, something big, something provocative, and this is over. But I don't see the end for now. I don't know who's gonna win actually, but currently it looks like Iran is having all the cards possible, including that they have a hand and I would say a reach for the Red Sea, for the Suez Canal, for Bab el Mandeb channel near, because they have
Yeah.
Houthis there, and which can also do the same as they do in Hormuz channel. So block it totally from navigation, and that's gonna get rid of world economy in several weeks.
Yeah.
Panic,
Oh.
and I don't know, probably start of something big if that's gonna happen. But currently, right now, it's not happening. So we have a chance that this is gonna settle some way.
Yeah. Okay. But some people talking also about what can happen after the football the football cup, no, the mondial. Yeah, there is also some prophecies about. Some people say that after the mondial cup something can happen. I don't know actually what, but there is also another narrative that in Italy take a lot of good impression, like QAnon. It's a old story. QAnon, no? Someone remember 4chan when happened something similar, no? The channel that have the drops by Q that say what happened in the world, no? And in Italy now, this kind of narrative is really, really appreciated. People thinks that Trump it's playing like a double phase, no? If we say a good phase with a bad game behind, I will do a good phase with you, but I'm doing the bad game underneath, So someone say this Trump. It seems that is really crazy. Maybe he lose his mind, with the wars, with other stuff. But actually, someone think that everything he's doing is a plan, not trust the plan. They say. What do you think about it?
Well, definitely, the plan was to use him, and they use him the second time. So he definitely follows this plan. He's safe for now. They didn't kill him, and they just showed him that they can do it anytime. And basically, staged all this event. Um, a lot of evidence shows that I was right back then. That I was making videos about that case, showing that it was totally set up. And so, basically, I think they just control him, and they control him more and more each day because it looks like he's getting dumber because of he's just too old, and they just know how to fool him because he changes whatever he says maybe daily. He switches the sides, the terms, takes his words back, and so on. We call it changing the shoes while jumping in the air. And so that's what he does. So I think they control him and they can control the narrative, of course. But for now, he is just an instrument, as all these conspiracy theorists were saying. They are just controlled puppets, and looks like Trump it is a controlled puppet for the second time. He didn't get rid of the swamp. He didn't make friends with Russia. He didn't stop the war. He started the war, saying back then that he will only stop in the wars. He's the peacemaker. But he did pretend he was okay with these international laws while doing the stuff with Maduro. He basically he overturned the decision of the red card for his player, just calling the FIFA.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true. That's
he,
crazy.
that's the kickoff of this, world calendar, economist calendar, where you see this player, soccer player, kicking the football. So basically, this championship is just a kickoff for everybody to see how can you do that. So you can have a deal with Iran. Next week, you overturn the deal. You blame your opponent that he is, doing something bad, and so on. So just bullying him. Just read his book. Donald Trump wrote a book of his tactics. He's just pushing his opponent, trying to scare him, try to bully him. And if the opponent is fighting back, he steps back, pretends that he is just nice guys, that he is a friend, and so on. And then he presses again. And this is how he does his business all the time. And even now, the tactics is the same. So he jumps in, jumps out, steps back, pretends he's a nice guy. He wanna talk. He wanna make a deal, and sends his people, makes these ridiculous meetings and talks for years, for months. Look, his 24-hour plan of Ukraine-Russia deal didn't work out because there were no plan actually. We were just talking, 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 just to pretend that he's somebody valuable, that he can decide. But basically, all he can do is scare people, scare them to death, sanction them, uh, sign ridiculous sanctions 20, 30%, 50%, 20, 200%, 500%. And the court of the United States just, declines these sanctions after the decision. And this is it. This is all Trump. Clown for now. I was thinking he wasn't stupid. That's stupid, but he is actually now. He's too old to control the situation, basically. And the people that surround him either keep him in this phony pony, pink pony planet world where he is, a superhero with an orange face. I don't know. But basically, he is too old for this.
Yeah,
And we can
yeah,
see he was blaming Biden for that, and now we can see he's not fit anymore. That's probably his final year of that people to see that King is naked. There was a fairy tale about naked King when he was having a guy create him such dress, very pretty dress, but the dress was invisible. So basically, he was naked, and everybody was pretending the dress so beautiful, so magnificent, haute couture, brilliant dress, fashion style. But actually, the king was just naked, butt
yeah,
naked, you know, and everybody saw him butt naked until the one guy says, "He's just naked, guys. What the fuck are you looking at?" And started laughing. Everybody started laughing, and that's what's happening right now. Everybody starts laughing. Half of Republicans already see that he is, what is doing is not for totally, you know, equal to what he was saying prior to his election. So all these election promises are now forgotten, and all he's doing is helping Israel and trying to push Iran to some certain deal. Nobody knows what is this deal about. What are they talking about? Nuclear weapons? What the hell? Use nuclear weapons then, if you have them. Nobody has anything possibly, and this is just the circus.
Okay. So you think, yes? What do you think about the possibility of this nuclear war? Because a lot of people in Italy are scared about it.
Well, if they had nuclear weapons, why didn't they use them for so many years? Nobody even signs these, deals. Like Israel. Israel isn't even, you know, legally saying that they have some nuclear weapons. They don't even say that they have any. Everybody knows they have, but basically they say never said, never confirmed. So does Iran. So was Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Never said that he had any nuclear weapons. Never had any biological weapons, and they never found any mass destruction. All this stuff that they were trying to find, they never found any. But basically, what happened to Iraq? Nobody cares anymore, and so this is just the case to start something, just to start the military production for the big war that is coming in the future. You have to have a certain budget for creating something new, for research and development, for you know helping people to uh, train on your weapons, you know, providing them experimental uh, devices and so on, technologies, trying to battlefield uh, test that technology in current conflicts. That's why you have so many conflicts anywhere, and you can test it basically in Ukraine. You could test it in Iran. You can test it in Africa. So whatever conditions you need, right? What they're doing currently in Finland is that they bring in a bunch of new NATO specialists. They're training a bunch of Finnish army to the NATO standards, and so basically Finland is a very technological country. It's
Yeah.
like a kind of like a Japan, and I bet they're gonna bring a lot to that in technologies and surveillance cameras and all this stuff. So NATO is largening. And now I was saying to you last time that you're gonna see more preparedness for the future war. Right now, not only Germany is doing that openly. Macron, president of France, said like last week that get ready for the war. And who else? Just you name it. A bunch of people already said that in the
Yeah.
World Cup. And so, what they're doing is actually trying to boost the weapon production to somehow reach the amounts of weapon production which is going to be needed for the future conflict. And it looks like they are setting up for year 28, 29, 30, something like this. In the most positive scenario, it can happen in the year 1933, 35, but looks like it could happen before the 30th. So that depends on how impressive and how much certain butthurt they're gonna have in Ukraine, because they are currently um, have put their stake on impression that everything's good, and just a little more press and just a little bit more money, and they're gonna win. They're
Yeah.
gonna win the deal that Russia's gonna sign, and Russia is falling apart basically, and a whole bunch of riots and stuff happening in Russia, and people overturn Putin, and a bunch of other bullshit stories. Nothing of that's gonna happen because basically it's nothing even. Yes, it's a little bit worse in gasoline. distribution, right? For the cars, for the traffic. But I can see things happening for like 10 or 15 years already. Each year in the summer, prior to the agricultural season,
Yeah.
high season start, these prices of gas and diesel are always going up, skyrocketing basically. They're trying to do measures. Right now, the production of gasoline is also halted because of these strikes of long range drones that we have in Russia. So yes, it's already admitted, and but the supplies themselves are created for a very long period. So it's like somebody told me like it's 9 or 11 months of constant supply. So it's like basically a year of supply in on all the gas, this. So I'm not talking about the production that's already established in most of the places that were, damaged, but I'm talking about just about the supplies. So there's a bunch of supplies. It's um, like this Mad Max series, right? You have
Yeah.
this um, Eternal Joe, I don't know, and you have this gas town where people create gas and so on, and
Yeah.
so you're trying to, to fight these people, um, trying to um think that they have no gas in some certain containers, maybe underground. I don't know. So they basically already saved all the gas they needed for even for the retreat, and that's what was in the movie when they were fleeing the town. They brought the whole cistern with them of all the
Yeah.
gas they needed. So that's what I'm saying. It's like trying to damage a couple of plants and think that we don't have gas here about. So it's like very naive, and I don't know who is providing these tactics for them. The best decision for the world is currently stop and try to talk. But as we can see, it's all staged, and nobody's gonna possibly have any decisions on that. So it's gonna
Mm.
continue as long as it takes for the future war to get set up, and then after the start of the big war, then it's gonna maybe have some decision, and somebody's gonna win and somebody's gonna lose, and after that maybe it's all over. But basically, how many damage the civilization will receive after that, nobody
Yeah.
knows actually.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
the last times that you came here, we were talking about the something like a gas empire, that came out from the past, like the Tartarian times,
Yeah.
until now. It seems that always is the same, this gas empire, that empire actually.
Yes, it's the same setup each time. So you basically have the guys who control the navigation, the logistics, and so these guys divided from the guys who actually do the mining, most of the mining. These guys diversification made a diverse there's diversification of their assets, and created colonies everywhere. So these colonies can produce as much oil, gas, and whatever they needed for the future. And that's the conflict because these guys grown bigger than the big boss, uh, make the big boss worry each time. So and big boss is very worried. He starts to fight the little one, and basically that's why Europe always fights with East.
Yeah.
It goes the East direction, trying to fight something in the East. Looking at the books of the guys who sponsored all this stuff and created the ideology, meaning the German ideology, French ideology. It all based on on the same principle. Go east, and you'll find something. You know,
Yeah,
the guys all the way in the east, they were under British for 100 or even more years during these opium wars, right? So they remember what is how to deal with these guys. These big big cartels of pirates and traders, which were mostly robbing everybody and just creating genocides, setting up wars in their colonies for the indigenous people fighting each other. Uh, Bought some, hired some people, making the mercenaries from them, sending them, creating false flag attacks in different regions so those regions fight, and breeding sickness, disease, killing a bunch of people, um, sending alcohol for these people because alcohol actually killed a lot of people in America, for example. Um, and so on and so forth. So the technology is the same. Just go somewhere, make a colony, suck everything from it, and what it is confronting the other method. Other methods is just go somewhere, maybe conquer, maybe pressure the region so it create creates a union or something, or maybe confederation with that region, and just absorb it, create cultural places, production there, build them houses, build them schools, and so on. Make it
and we're
the
talking
other way.
about the rebranding of the nation, or the rebranding of the countries.
Yeah, it's just the two methods of expansion. First one is uh, aided at fast profits, long-term goals like depopulating the region so nobody confronts you and so on, make them sick, make totally erase their male population, or maybe create their male, think that they're not male in some way, make them don't want to marry and make children, for example.
Yeah,
Uh, this is how colonization works, and you have these troops everywhere in Europe, uh, army bases, surveillance points, and so on, and agents everywhere, from British to CIA, Mossad, and all these guys everywhere controlling you, looking through your mail, telephones, scanning everything. So it's like the game that was started just to create these technologies so you can control the population and erase certain groups very fast, um, make them think that they're free, democratic, liberal, but actually that they live in slavery and pain, pain, but actually making these payments through hard work, as hard as is possible, and just squeezing them like a lemon so they can
yeah,
go go to the supermarket, buy something to eat, cook a little bit, and have a sleep. That's all they need. But if you actually try to wake them up in the night, every night, wake them up with sirens, missile defense, explosions, uh, drone sounds passing by, uh, missiles and drones hitting apartment buildings, and posting this stuff everywhere in social media everywhere. So the both sides see just barbaric, barbaric, barbaric. They fight even more harder. They have um, the so-called um, the will to continue, because they see all these massacres, hitting of the buildings, explosions, uh, drones hitting oil refineries, people standing in the cars in the huge long lines just to get a gasoline for their car, standing a day or two just to get a 20-liter uh, fuel in a tank. So that's basically how it works. You create these cortisol infusions in the blood system of each person, and this cortisol is totally free because it's produced by this person watching these reels and short videos and I don't know, news and written Telegram channels and so on. So that's how it's created. And you hear all this stuff in the night, you watch this stuff in a smartphone, and you have a total 3D, I don't know, 4D involvement in this process. You think you are. Basically, you are just a piece of a puzzle controlled by this, huge planned process.
Okay. So, if we are talking about Agenda 2030, do you think this is still there, still open?
Well, we just have to read and see what actually proved to be made. You know, check this, that, and that, and see if it's actually came true. But I see that we still have like 4 years. Maybe we can do a video in 2030 and check if that worked out. I think that would be better than. But actually, some of this actually is already implemented. So I think most of people and critics themselves say that some is not yet created as possible, but we still have 4 years. So just meet you in 4 years.
Yes, we still have some years. Yeah. Yeah, someone also talk about this possibility of Trump that will kill on this year. Do you heard about that, or what do you think about this?
Well, they're already setting up the Iran version theory that Iran is trying to kill him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So who knows? I think this is his last year. He looks like he is, maybe could be set up for some disease like Lindsey Graham, actually, right?
Yeah,
The guy who
yeah,
was in Ukraine accidentally returned home a couple of days before he's supposed to return and talked only with Trump on telephone, and next day he was found dead. So who knows?
yeah,
It's just the way to control people is to make them think that they're controlling things, right?
yeah.
And that's what they do with Trump, basically. They know who he is. They know how he's, his character, I would say hints, but actually the key to his character, the puzzle solving of his character. So they know exactly how to provoke him, how to make
Yeah.
him manipulate his decisions. And
Oh,
that's why they need these people, this type of people. Just because Biden was the same, his wife was doing just handling him, turning him, walk this way, walk that way, Joe go here, Joe go there, and Trump is pretty much the same, but he's surrounded by more people who's telling him what to do.
yeah,
And
yeah.
just saying, "Oh, how good you going this way? You're going this way. Very good, sir. That's the most brilliant way. Going this way. Yes, okay, sir." And he goes this way.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But actually, I have to say that some months ago, I interviewed a guy from Iran, and he said that Trump is really loved in Iran, no? Because there is a dictatorship there. So if someone come to, I would say, to bring out this dictatorship, is like a save, no? Is like a messiah, no? Something similar. But when he told me about that, I remember what you told me about the rebranding of the nation. No? I was thinking it's really easy to put a dictatorship in a place, and some years later try to free that country from the dictatorship. And then in that case, the Iran and the places around becoming a country of America, like the Europe, like happened with Europe with the fascism, with Hitler, all the other stuff. I see something similar, rebranding nation also in Iran. What do you think? Why the people of Iran loved Trump?
I don't think they really love that much. I think they just, even if some of them believe Trump some type of savior for them, uh, the Messiah. I don't know, but as you can see, the funeral was just a couple of days ago. You can see how many people came to the funeral, and this amount of people makes me think that the majority of Iranians don't think that way, and don't think that Trump is type of savior. I think most of them consider that Trump is just an idiot who started the war he cannot finish, and most of them probably are mad enough just to tear him apart if they see him, but maybe actually not, making him a victim of something, because he's just an old man. Nobody wants to kill an old man, but maybe they can set something up for Iranians to be blamed in this, and if they are already doing it, so that's a possibility.
Okay.
The problem of Israel is too thin. If the
Yeah.
actual war comes to Israel it could be shot from artillery and these low-cost systems, uh, you know, just be shelled very, very easy with drones and artillery and all this stuff, cannons. Um, Iran is very distant from Israel, but still it can shoot it with missiles. Just imagine if all this army goes closer. Maybe Lebanon joins. Who else? It could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be everybody against everybody. It could be maybe Iraq can join, because some people in Iraq also support Iran. And so if they have a 30, 20 million army coming close to Israel, Israel is done, I think. So uh, no one can probably help Israel. And that's why I think it's all set up for them to get rid of it eventually after all this ends. Because I don't think that Iran, with this depth territory, with all these mountains, hills everywhere, underground facilities, so they have a very large territory actually, and very deep. There's no way you can, simply. It's just like Afghanistan, very hard to conquer. Nobody could conquer Afghanistan for very long. Nobody can conquer Iran, so it's impossible. That's why they only can surround it and make Iran surrender, because they exhausted the way that it surrenders. But I don't think Iran is going to surrender this time.
Do you remember one of our interview that we did? We talked about this cover, no, of this newspaper. I don't know if you remember what we said in the past about it. But actually, someone put this calendar around this picture, and see that something happened actually in the right moment. No, so I don't know if you want to comment something about that or.
Well, I've seen some actually videos, but I don't think it's everything like very making up to be real. Some of this, of course, happens. Some of this not doesn't happen. But what we can see is the ship it has weapons inside of it, right? We can only say that it happening currently in Black Sea. So we had examples when Ukrainians launched drones from the ship containers, and so of course this came up to be true. We have Zelensky standing in some certain water here. I don't know where. I don't know why it's put to March, but basically he just put the calendar above this illustration. I don't think it has to do anything with the initial design, but since it works for some events, maybe it can be said to be real. But this, Hunter virus in May, the case with Hunter virus.
Yeah.
Yes, it happened, but I don't think it has any influence for the global geopolitical situation currently. So basically, it's just one more virus in the list of useless viruses that they create for some media cases, threaten people, creating procedures for the future pandemics, so they can work more faster each and every time in
Yeah.
controlling people, separating them from the so-called infected masses and so on. So basically it's just a way to quarantine people a little bit faster. That's why they probably practice this on ships, because the
Yeah.
ship is ideal case for this test.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happen. Actually, I think that this calendar will. Someone put this calendar start here because the football match with the football cup. So in June they start, and then all the stuff that happen in the next month. It seems that something happened, something no, but let's see actually what can happen. Anyway, I have a question that it came out from the movie that I saw some days ago. Is the movie of Steven Spielberg, the new movie, no? Disclosure Day. I don't know
Mhm.
if you.
Didn't watch it yet.
Okay, I don't know, but actually, some people talking about this movie like a signal that something can happen with with the alien stuff. I'm not
Ah,
studying alien stuff. No, I'm not study these things because I think that everything is militarized. When you want to study UFO, you have to study military because everything is start from there. No, so I never stop. I never start to study these things because it's really hard to know. But what do you think about this possibility of disclosure, UFO disclosure?
they're gonna test it somewhere, making a pilot project, make some contact, simulate it, stage it, whatever you call it, and see what the results gonna be. If there's gonna be people who are criticizing it, finding like we find something strange in the footage from the ISS, from space and so on, from this rocket launches and so on. If we're gonna find that in that footage, if we're gonna discredit it, if we're gonna criticize it, and they can see that they failed, they're gonna stop it for a certain while, maybe improve it, and then bring it back. So of course they're gonna use this technique sooner or later. Like the Project Blue Beam was initially created for that,
Yeah,
for these long range distant projections. So that could possibly work out with these ground projections, but I don't think that people gonna buy these projections on the ground. In the sky it looks good, but on the ground
yeah,
I think the camera footages and many other things that can I assure you can disprove that this was staged and projected event instead of real. So that's why they probably don't do it for currently. For current situation, they only have masks and special effects, special stunts on it, maybe certain light, and maybe I don't know, uh, some makeup. I don't know. So basically, some simple things that they use in theaters and studios for special effects. So that's what they can do, and some of that could be used in assassination attempts, like Charlie Kirk's already. Assassination is trying to be disproven by certain people, calling the mic an explosive. I was talking about this iPhone phone pagers explosion things way back in the days when pandemic was starting. When I was telling people that nobody gonna be creating something like 5G to kill you all, while you have all these telephones with you that could kill you anytime. Nobody be spending money on such deadly technologies. It's just a simple transition of signal. But the telephones, the pagers, microphones, Bluetooth devices could actually be filled with explosives, and that can kill a person. Um, and for example, Charlie Kirk could be possibly killed with this such device. And some people already trying to research this evidence. I think they're gonna make it, and they're gonna prove it, because a lot of other things don't end up like with also with this Butler case of Trump assassination. A lot of things don't add up, and as it is with Charlie Kirk and other things. Although I was making videos on Charlie Kirk also, he's totally a 33 guy, and just a part of this game. And getting rid of such person is, of course, a great way to make a sacrificial victim from him, put him on a banner and use him without his permission in whatever you want to use him, and just to having his widow under your control, which she basically was always, because she was some type of agent of Trump team, and so basically Trump probably used her to control Charlie Kirk, and knowing that Charlie Kirk started to oppose his Israeli narrative in the future, probably set up this assassination on Charlie Kirk, and could be real actually. I mean, not the assassination, that his death could be real,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mm, that's all I can say for now, because I don't have any time to look it up more closely. Actually, I'm more engaged in my current work than in researching what's going on. All I have is like the surface research, just medium range, not a long term something like I used to do. But basically, right now I can see this technology is used everywhere in most of Hollywood propaganda movies, in most of these media cases. You can find this 33, 44 signature everywhere. You name it. From for example, Candace Owens does the research on this Charlie Kirk case, and I was saying from day one, Candace Owens is 44, and so is her research always related to discrediting some 33 case. Also, she does research on Macron wife being transgender. So basically, these people cannot be doing this research just like that. It's totally gonna get banned on YouTube. But no, it's not. They're doing it, and somehow, some way, it's coming up and getting public and getting so many views. And these people are all successful, riding around the world. For example, Candace Owens came to St. Petersburg recently, and telling everybody about Macron's wife here, answering a bunch of other questions about how bad it is in U.S. politics currently, how they divisive, and so on. So it's all game. All these players just riding around the world, telling BS to everybody, and creating this so-called model of debate, of freedom of speech, and so on. But basically, what they actually are not, they are all controlled in certain way. Mm, they all have sponsors that they again paid from, and they just have audience. And why not they get banned from YouTube? I don't know. I would get banned for that immediately. If I would be doing the research of of Macron's wife being transgender, or being his daddy, actually? So
Okay. So we are almost in 1 hour. So I want to ask you if you have a message for Italian people, because um, in this last day my message is that's the information becoming always more and more. So chaos came more and more, no? With the intelligence artificial videos, with a lot of stuff. So I recommend to people to stay quiet, to don't go in pain, to don't believe in everything they want to they will see. Just have a bit of how to say just try to understand what can be real and not real. It's not easy actually, because before it wasn't easy, and now it's more difficult, no? But yeah, my message to the people is this: do you have a message for Italian people?
well, message is to educate yourself. If you want to support somebody, for example, somebody said like you can donate for I don't know, for Ukrainian democracy. They need support and so on. You just have to go ahead and look what this money is going to, where. There's a bunch of footage of people getting dragged in the buses, women getting beaten, which are trying to protect their husbands and sons for not to get dragged in the bus, to not to get sent on the front line. For example, uh, there's a city of Nice near Italy, in France, close to Italy, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
maybe a couple hour drive.
exactly.
Or Monaco, right? Monaco. You know the case in Monaco where when Ukrainian
Yeah, I heard something. Yeah,
rich
yeah,
man was bombed by Ukrainian spy,
yeah,
a woman who came to Europe as a hostage, and so on. As not a hostage, as a refugee, and she was somewhere in Germany, I think, and then she came and killed another Ukrainian with his uh, woman and his daughter, also trying to kill him. And most of them are very hardly wounded, have no legs, and so on. So it's like uh, all these cases where we
yeah,
send money sometimes, support someone, is going to somebody else.
yeah. Almost
And
always.
so what I suggest is people to educate yourself. There's a whole bunch of scam right now. Most of the countries just suppress this information. Ukrainian call centers, for example, they have call centers who work as scam call centers. They call a bunch of old people worldwide and scam them to send them money, send them SMS code, and so they get into the bank account and robbing them.
Yeah, yeah,
And in Russia is a big problem right now. Currently, Americans and Canadians, wow, that information is coming up. So, and these call centers are being sponsored by the governments because they, share the money in this corruption. So all these people actually were making money on that, and that guy from Monaco was making money on that. That's how he got rich. Um, so there's a bunch of information. You have to just take a look before sending money to somebody. Uh, think of it this way: uh, for example, right now in Russia, we know it. If we send money to anyone, for example, even for gas, like you have a need to buy 20 liters of gasoline, and you can't do it because the gas station is filled with lines. A lot of people stand. You're gonna waste a lot of money, and you read on the internet that you can buy from somebody, sending him money. That could be actually somebody who can use this transaction to rob you and to set you up for some certain reason, even for criminal offense. So be aware what you do right now with your money. Stay prepared for whatever's coming. Educate yourself and always pre-check what you're doing. These days are very important for us because you can lose everything right now with this digital world, with these bank accounts that could be easily hacked by anyone.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's a great message. Thank you so much, Phil. Uh, Last question, but is this is out of our field. Is from the stories, and I did like 3 or 4 times the same question to you, but it's always a nice question. There are news about Tartaria things.
you asking if there are any news?
Any news? Yes, about the Tartarian things, because in Italy still is a big, it's a big important deal. These things of Tartaria. People start again say the Tartaria Empire, Tartaria Empire. So I don't know if there is news about it.
Mm, nothing major. I didn't pop up in anything like very big. But what I see is actually Facebook is flooded with these information, and it looks like it's like a new wave of new creators trying to find out the information, explanation, whatever. But all I can see is uh, each and every time I watch these videos, I can see the main mistake. And the main mistake is not looking into the current situation, because it's like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. There was like criminal detectives in some book, Arthur Conan Doyle, I think. Uh, what they did is actually they used the deduction method. Is what they see is the result, and they come from the result to the cause, to the reason of that result. That's what I was trying to do in my research. Um, so that's probably the main difference. Uh, but now people concentrate in creating videos, creating AI videos,
Yeah,
AI illustrations, and so on. So basically,
yeah,
trying to hype. Maybe that's good for the topic. More people can get involved in that information, but some people will get disappointed because they will eventually find out that this is all AI videos and illustrations, and they will not believe the whole
yeah,
concept is credible in any way. So um, probably this is more to discredit the actual research than to do it. So that's what I'm thinking. That's currently it is, but still some new information. There's a whole bunch of sinkholes actually happening around. Uh, for example, in recent weeks, there was one big in Bangkok and the one big in Novosibirsk in Russia. So watch for these sinkholes. Sinkholes is the main mm, evidence that there was a big mining process in the area, or probably the place was buried with the mining waste, and the established city and the civilization itself on that place is uh, very fragile because it doesn't have no base and could be easily washed with groundwaters or maybe gas bubbles underneath. Who knows? So this is what is actually the problem of itself, because nobody can explain how is this actually being missed all the time? They blame it on subway construction, they blame it on technological things and so on. But when you have such big amounts of earth and soil just disappearing in very short term of time, mm, this is cannot be explained by some simple, not important, uh, or ordinary case of construction or something. Uh, this is just the result of the whole place itself being built on the place with unstable soils. But unstable why? Because it's all a mining waste, including this. Most of these big hills and mountains that we see around, most of them can be anything, can be big gigantic creatures, or can be just mining waste. uh, there's a bunch of different theories, and as you can see, different rocks and mountains look different. Obviously, if they are different, they have different colors, different
Yeah.
structure, different composure, and so on. So looking at different rocks and hills, and what I concern, if you dig a little bit on a hill, you find out that the clay and the mud underneath it's as this composure of clay I see in Moscow, or any other city in Russia where I see the mud flood evidence. So basically, this is the same clay and mud, the same I saw in Thailand, the same I saw in Kazakhstan, the same I see people showing me footage from United States, in Kansas and so on. So
Yeah.
this reddish yellow, dark red clay, just depending on the composure of the chemical elements.
Blend. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's gray when it's wet, and when it's drying out, it's getting more
Red.
yellow
Yeah.
and more red, and that's
Yeah.
it. Because it's depending on how many aluminum or iron it has inside. So, and where you can find this clay, this perfect composure of clay, you can find it, um, including underground. And so that's probably why it's so unstable. And the way it looks like right now, that people are getting away from this geology, I would say, because that's the main explanation of everything we can see when we have different constructions underneath. The bigger, more modern constructions, like the Museum of Louvre itself, is located on the place of medieval forces, which is deep underground. Basically, is buried by something, and above it, something bigger comes up, like a museum, like a White House, like a Congress, and so on. Everything is built on something more ancient, mm, and itself underground, located underground. So that itself is a huge question nobody actually solved.
Yeah.
Nobody can explain more than I did back in the day, saying that it's all mining, it's all artificial, it's nothing like natural, it's all artificial, and it's all because of technologies they had, and they had a bunch of mining technologies, and that's why they produce so many mining artifacts that we can find everywhere. And that's the best explanation that worked back then. Still nothing uh, more more informative or explainable came up anywhere. I don't see anything, so no news on that.
Okay. Okay, so allora, I want to show you again the channel of Philipp, so you can watch, subscribe, and visit all the things that he did. Also, things of the past are really, really, really important to know and to see, like the 33 issue that I saw with a lot of interest, and yeah, other things that you can find in this channel. Also, you can find Philippe in the point of view sometime, because now he's our friend, and In the future, we will see him with David Wells. We actually have to do today, but David has a problem, so we will do it in the future. Philip, thank you so much. You are always the best. I hope you the best for the future.
Yeah. See you later, guys. Thanks for invitation.
Thank you and bye-bye. See you
Bye.
the next time. Bye.
BioVital Acqua, la vitalità di sorgente.